Charlie's Aunt, a British farce from the late 1800s, filled with all the typical gags of a classical farce, like mistaken identities, heartsick lovers, snide servants, and befuddled old men. The show is considered one of the funniest farces of its time. The central idea revolves around Lord Fancourt having to dress up as a woman and pretending to be his friend Charlie's aunt. It's the classic put a man in a dress and get a laugh gag, but hey, it works.
Our Town, a classic American play written by Thornton Wilder in 1938. The play is set in Grover's Corner between 1901 and 1913. The 3 acts cover daily life, love and marriage, death and eternity. Among the reason it is memorable is because the show is played on a bare stage, with only basic furniture and props simply pantomimed, which makes the show not only very cheap to produce, but probably the only reason it still gets produced a lot. But that certainly doesn't hurt.
Hamlet, considered by many to be Shakespeare's greatest play. The king is dead, murdered by his brother, who now sits on the throne and is married to his widow. The king's ghost appears to his son, Hamlet, and tasks him with exposing the treachery. Lots of famous lines like, "To be or not to be, to thine own self be true, the lady doth protest too much, and alas, poor Yorick, I knew him." There's a skull that's pretty important. At the end of the play, pretty much everyone's dead. Sorry, spoilers.
Sound of Music. Really? I have to read the description of Sound of Music? Julie Andrews is a naughty nun who comes to take care of a bunch of brats because apparently if you're a widower in the 1930s, you can't take care of your own kids. There's some Nazis and a lot of really popular songs by Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Lear, a Shakespeare tragedy that follows the descent into madness of the king as he struggles with the question of succession between his 3 daughters. See how they drive him mad. The role of Lear is considered a major challenge that many actors aspire to. Others are already crazy, so they don't really need the play to help.
South Pacific, the hit Roger and Hammerstein's musical set in the East Atlantic. On a tropical island in the South Pacific during World War II. There's a May-December romance, which is kind of creepy when you think about it. Lots of famous songs, Bala Hi to You, or is it Aloha?
Dance of Death, another happy-go-lucky feel-good play. The Dance of Death by August Strindberg was written in the 1900s and in a nutshell concerns a married couple who hate each other and do everything they can to destroy one another. Like I said, happy-go-lucky feel-good comedy of the season.
Dracula. Okay, not strictly a play, but they're doing an adaptation of the novel during this show. Bram Stoker's book established many of the modern conventions we associate with vampires. The story is about Dracula moving from Transylvania to England in search of fresh blood and his battle with Professor Van Helsing. But no one glows or glitters or twilights or whatever in this story.
Peer Gynt, a 5-act, seriously, 5 acts, play by Norwegian playwright Henrik Ibsen from 1867 with 40 scenes that switch between realism and the absurd. The show travels from the Norwegian mountains to the North African desert following Peer Gynt and is a commentary on a life based on procrastination and avoidance. There's a troll king, and the song Hall of the Mountain King was written for the production. And apparently there's also something about a flying pig? I don't know. I've never read this show.